Regional Olive Sagan, my brother Olives, my sister B'nai B'rith girls, friends, and family. In case my relevance is in question, my name is Ethan Wiseman. I'm a life member of Simon Wiesenthal AZA number 25, and I've known Ron since he was a little baby. And of course, by that, I just mean since he was in kindergarten. I don't remember much of him at that young age, but I do know that he was a quieter kid who loved to play recess soccer, and that he had a baby face back then. Well, then again, not much has changed on that last front. Still, when he looked only slightly older than that squinty-eyed, buck-toothed, pre-adolescent boy who will probably forever be his Facebook profile picture. And Ron, let's be clear, when I get back to California, we're having a very long and serious chat about that. He succeeded me as SciWi's corresponding Mazkir at his first BBYO elections. As a little 8th grader with no onus to do so, he took it upon himself to go completely out of his way and bike to my house after he had soccer practice in order to have me teach him what to do as corresponding Mazkir face to face. I thought that I'd kept a pretty good system together through my term, and almost immediately, Ron saw all of these little ways to improve it. And improve it he did, with corresponding Mazkir and every position that he held in the chapter since. He left his own unique mark that brought the energy and passion to get things done. And it's no surprise that Ron was able to do things to improve the chapter. From the time that I began driving others around until he got his license, I was one of his primary forms of BBYO transportation, and he and I spent a lot of time in my car discussing his ideas of all sorts. What became clear to me very quickly was that I was speaking with someone whose intelligence and perceptiveness exceeded my own. Those ideas clearly had, and continue to have, an incredible degree of merit. All of this goes to say that when Ron was elected as Regional Olive Cadola a year ago, I was ridiculously proud of and excited for him. For me, it wasn't about the SciY curse or anything like that. I was just lucky enough to have had the first-hand experience to tell me just how much of an impact he could have on the regional level. I knew that Ron would be more than happy to go to any lengths in order to validate the trust that the region was putting in him. Still, I initially had some concerns. Ron was going off onto his own as an official older member to the regional level in a way that none of us past SciWites ever had. I worried that the pressures on and distances between regional leadership could make it harder for him to communicate his expectations with others, as we ourselves had suffered difficulty communicating expectations to one another after he'd gotten his license and started driving himself around. I worried that this failure to communicate could lead to anger like it had during his Godol term, when I ended up snapping at him over a perceived carpooling issue while driving a car filled mostly with younger members back from an event. But then I remembered the larger scale importance of that moment when I snapped at him. It was in the moments after, when he sent me a message that night reminding me how important it was to keep my cool around new, impressionable members. I wasn't ready to hear him say that, so I snapped. More. And that was when Ron proved himself to be the bigger man. While we video chatted, he let me vent. Calmly. Patiently. Instead of the screaming match that I was expecting, he moved on from his attempts to call me out and just let me be. But more than that, he heard me. He understood me. In the stressed out, frustrated state I had been for a couple of months by that point, it had been difficult at times for me to feel as though I was wanted for anything other than my car by the chapter. And he reminded me of just how much my brother Olives really did care, despite my thinking to the alternative. In that moment, Ron Miasnik displayed the maturity, thoughtfulness, and caring of a true leader. A true leader who wasn't supposed to be nearly as grown up as he was and continues to be. Now, Ron, you just continue to amaze me. You've continued to display these traits of maturity and honesty as you've done an incredible job as Regional Olive Cadole. And you're going to do a truly incredible job as an older member of SciY and a different kind of leader for the region in the year to come. I attribute so much of your success to your passion, your intelligence, and your integrity. I believe that, regardless of who you are, you should do what you love and love what you do. But Ron, you don't just do that. You know and do what you love, and you love what you know and do every single day. I'm extremely confident that you'll continue to know and do so, and because of that, you'll continue to achieve great things. With that, I could not be prouder to second the motion made by Guy Miasnik to accept the State of the Region report as given by our 64th Regional Olive Cadole, Ron Miasnik.